Keep it funky,
This is the West Side, Windy City in the city, empty Phillies, plenty fists to me, pitching pennies on tips with 20s. More than rapper music, in fact, it's the truth. With avenues with cash jabbing, stacking loot, moving sacks and shoes. Where the people be creeping deep in the evening, peeking out caprices, peeking, but I seen them before they see me leaving. Chevy Regals, Grand Marquises, vans and Jeeps, Saran sandwich bags, plastic wrap gram stashed under the seats. It's getting scandalous on the land, no more hand-to-hand jabbing. Counsel that they got cameras planted, scanning the streets. Abandoned buildings, not so nice looking, hypes and hookers. Pipes will cook up under lights at night, look up behind they pushes. Old ladies strolling, pushing baby strollers and old Navy overcoats. Hopeless, they facing cold cuz over the way. They holding O's or overdoses posted on the corner for pay. Either dope, doja, yay, nigga. Shot-town, home of the gangsters, stones and foes, takers unknown, seas, kings, breeze, BDs and souls. Mafia's travelers from Casa to Madison, Ogden to Ashland to Jackson to Rocks, weed and lows. Since the 50s they've been in business, since they were penniless, underprivileged tenants living in tenements. In the beginning, gangs was invented to defend the innocent from oppressors that rejected the niggas blending in. Some say it's foolishness, moving with numerous platoon units, hella two against lunatics, but we knew the live. From thugs on the street, BM guns and regions and heats, plug with gloves, me mud slugs from heaters is tough. But a fist is stronger than a finger. And all these corners and tips and strengthen these numbers, believe me. So they think you're crazy, right? Post the day and night, it's more than color signs and symbols. It's simple, this is a way of life.
We are back. It's still the Bears. You are still on the soil. No worries. We are back in the building. Gonna let everybody get back situated before we get into the Bears talk, but we are back, Gino. You good?
Man, we back down on the soil, man. You know what time it is. A couple technical difficulties. Ain't never going to do nothing. We're going to let the family members get back in the building, but we definitely got to get into that talk, man.
Definitely got to get into the Bears talk, man. Like I said at the top of the hour, I got some questions, bro. I'm wondering what it all means that they got this W yesterday. You feel me?
It's tough, man. I mean, I think
36-7.
Well, number one, I think the main thing behind yesterday's W was the fact that Mitch had a chip on his shoulder coming into the ball game because he knew the talk of the week was Deshaun Watson coming into Soldier Field. Deshaun Watson should have been the Bears quarterback. Deshaun Watson should have been picked before Mitch. So I think that gave Mitch some extra incentive to come out and get the job done, man. And you know me, I'm a Mitch Trubisky. I can't say I'm a Mitch Trubisky
You're
fan.
definitely one of Mitch's guys.
But I'm money-making Mitch, man. I started the hashtag, man, and I'm going to ride with it until he is no longer rocking number 10 in Chicago Bears blue, man. I was happy to see him finally. I feel like yesterday was his best performance as a quarterback.
You were happy? You were happy watching that yesterday?
Yeah, what you mean?
I'm like,
dog, what type of Bears fan are you, man?
I'm the type of Bears fan that's wondering where was that
Look
the
at your boy.
previous 5
Did
weeks,
you see
man?
his face, man?
What?
He said, oh, my God.
Come on, look, man. I'm wondering where that was the previous 5 weeks or the previous ever in his career, basically. Like you said, that may be his best performance ever, but of course it comes when it doesn't really matter. Like,
why don't it? Well, that's crazy because remember yesterday and the last 2 weeks I've been saying the next meaningful Bears game is in approximately 39 weeks. So I feel you, bro.
And of course, the Vikings lose yesterday, so they're still in that mix. The Cardinals lose yesterday.
Right. No, the Cardinals.
The Cardinals won. Who?
Green Bay beat
Detroit.
Minnesota lost to whoever they lost to.
They lost to Tampa Bay.
Right.
Arizona did.
Arizona won. Yeah.
Okay. So they're still in the hunt playoff picture. I still don't know who they could possibly beat if they were to get into the playoffs.
Any given Sunday, man. You know,
any given Sunday.
Mitch Trubisky, a.k.a. Willie Beeman.
Oh, let's not act like they beat the Chiefs, okay?
No,
they did beat a 4-9 Houston Texans team that was down.
Trash.
What? Down, because I'm still gonna say they were down DeAndre Hopkins. They should still have him.
Man, they got 2 players, man.
Will
JJ
Fuller
Watt,
gone.
JJ Watt and Deshaun Watson, man. That's it.
Period. You know what I mean?
Deshaun Watson deserves much better.
I was talking a lot of stuff during the week because of what you just said. You know what I mean? We know the backstory and the storylines that were going into this week about Deshaun Watson not getting picked by the Bears. Stuff we've been saying since the Bears drafted Mitch, right?
Right.
So you say he came in with a chip on his shoulder.
Just because of that. I feel like just because of the Deshaun Watson talk, Mitch had extra incentive to come in yesterday and get the job done.
They've been saying it about him. I feel like you're saying just yesterday.
Yeah, just yesterday.
Uh-huh.
It ain't like Pat Mahomes came in the building, and it's not like the Bears would beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
So
but I'm saying,
what does it all mean to you? Like, what does this win mean for this team right here? Like, did it save people's jobs?
I think if the Bears end up going 8-8, it will definitely save people's jobs. I feel like regardless,
they were still 5-1. And if they finish,
and what did I tell you?
8 not gonna get them into the playoffs.
What did I tell you and Herb when they were 5-1?
They was 3-0
with
Mitch Trubisky.
DJ.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
DJ, hold on.
You've been somebody that's 3-0.
I'm gonna do it.
I'll tell you how you bet somebody that's 3-0.
I'm gonna do it like Dr. Umar. The Bears were 3-0 with Mitch Trubisky as a starter. The Bears were 3-0 with Mitch Trubisky as a starter. The Bears were 3-0 with Mitch Trubisky as the starter.
Tell me something. Are they beating the teams that they lost to with Mitch Trubisky?
Yes.
No. Absolutely not. No. The Bears will have the same exact record. I'm not willing to say that this team is that much better where they flipping losses to wins.
I agree.
Just because Mr. Trubisky is the quarterback. And I'm actually surprised that you say that this win or this could possibly save the Bears from heads rolling because they were on a 6-game loser streak.
Right.
At whenever it ended, there's no way that stint of your season goes unaddressed.
Well, we still huff. Let's not get it confused. The Bears are still huff. But I feel like regardless of the outcome of the season, now losing out 10 straight, heads need to roll. I feel like you can fire everybody. But I feel like yesterday saved a couple jobs. Like I said, when they were 5-1, I told y'all that was the worst 5-1 team in National Football League history. But I feel like if they can finish out 8-8, that would definitely save some gigs. And I feel like as far as my boy Mitch is concerned, they'll bring Mitch back on a 1-year show and prove deal.
This is you're about to have my head explode.
Nah, don't worry.
If that win saved jobs, that's easily the worst thing that could have happened yesterday.
But we said that, didn't you say that you felt like this whole pandemic situation and the things that most of these guys are going through, they were going to give these guys another chance, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace next year? Didn't you say that? Didn't we all say that? I
said it was a chance a few weeks ago, and then they lost like 3 more games. If that win alone saves jobs, and I'm wondering, like, what's the penalty for basically letting the season slip out of your hands in the previous 6 weeks? It wasn't injuries. It was bad play calling.
Right.
It was bad coaching. And lackluster energy from your players. Like, you just didn't have these guys ready. Mr. Trubisky cannot come back to this team unless it's as a backup. I feel like he's not going to go anywhere and start. You know what I mean? Like, after the first few years of his career with the Bears, he's going to have to go somewhere and prove himself no matter what. But I still feel like it has to be over in Chicago for him. Which is why I was more frustrated than anything, because that's how this started. You said you were happy watching it. Bro, I was frustrated watching it, because I'm like, why is it week 14 and Mr. Trubisky and this offense is finally doing stuff that not just, media people, but fans, anybody that can watch the game has been saying that the Bears should do for months, years. Mr. Trubisky should get out the pocket. They should call plays to Mr. Trubisky's strengths. Don't let him stand in the pocket. They should run the ball. They finally did those things yesterday, and the defense had a great game.
Right. All the way around the board. Everybody had a good game. And the Houston Texans are trash.
So if I'm the person making the decisions for the Bears,
Which
I'm not, and I feel like that's a good question to ask because it's like I still don't know who's making the decision. Is it Virginia McCaskey? Is it Mama McCaskey? Is it George? Is it Ted Phillips? I don't know who the totem pole, favors in this situation.
Right.
But if I was the one making the decision for the Bears, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, why am I getting this in week 14 instead of week 7 when we were a couple of wins away from locking up a playoff spot?
Well, personally, I feel like when you, like DJ said, they started out 3-0 with Mitch. When you take out the starting quarterback, I think that does something to the aura of the team. Now, we came to agree. I told y'all that Nick Foles was huff. So we came to agreement that Mitch Trubisky is a better quarterback than Nick Foles, right? Right?
Yes, that's facts.
Now, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think that Mitch turns this, if he was the starting quarterback all of those games, are the Bears, what are they now?
They're 5 or 6 and 7, I feel.
So are they 10-3 with Mitch Trubisky?
Absolutely
maybe not. Maybe not. Are they 7-6? Are they 8-5? Possibly.
I'm pulling up the Bears schedule because we have to address this real quick.
Come on.
I've mentally forgot about these games.
Jackson,
You know what I mean?
the games they got left or the ones they played
the
already?
ones that they've played already. So
Okay,
when
run it down.
when did we took Mitch out in week 4, right?
No, week 3. They were winning when they took him out too.
So week 3 against the Falcons when Nick Foles came back.
They're giving that win to Mitch because he was the starting quarterback.
But it was Nick Foles where he threw 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, 3-0 with Mitch
in the fourth quarter.
3-0 with Mitch as the starting quarterback.
But we got to look at. We can't just skim through the lines. You feel me? Are we gonna
DJ,
skim
you
through
hear
the
this?
lines? Are we? Come on, let's not skim
what
through
it is, man.
Nick Foles scored the last 3 touchdowns
Okay,
in that
man.
game.
Okay.
19-11 versus the Colts,
L.
which is 11 points, but you only give up 19 to the Colts. I think they may average 30. You beat the Buccaneers next week.
That was a great game by the defense.
It was another great game. You only scored 20, but you hold the Buccaneers to 19.
Right.
Then you beat the Panthers 23-18.
Man, the Panthers are trash.
But you got to beat who's in front of you.
Now you got to be who's in front of you.
Absolutely. You got to beat who's in front.
Okay.
Yo. Then 24-10 to the Rams.
L.
That's the first loss of 6 in a row. 26-23 versus the Saints. Right there. Okay.
L.
Okay. Titans. 24-17 versus the
L.
Titans. 34-30 versus the Lions.
L. To a team who, did Mitch beat them?
Mitch beat them, but not to skim through it again.
This is what I'm saying, man.
But
See how the goalposts be moving?
I just want to know, what do you remember most from that game? Homie
Buddy dropping
that
the ball in
last
the end zone.
touchdown.
Right, I agree.
That was nestled safely
That
in
ain't
his
no
hands
that ain't no
before it
Mitch.
hit the ground.
That ain't no Mitch though.
Oh, it's not on Mitch.
That's
that
on the
was
defense.
That was the Lions being the Lions.
Exactly. The Lions.
Thank God they're in your division where you could probably get one win off of those guys, right?
Right. Next.
Up to yesterday, 36-7 versus the
No,
Houston
not
Texans.
up to yesterday. Don't forget about that shellacking they took in Green
Oh,
Bay.
yeah, you're right. Excuse me. 41-25 versus the Packers, which is the last straw for Nick Foles.
No, that
was
Mitch.
what? Oh, see.
But
I don't even know. I can't even tell.
But that I told you what that was. That was Bill Lazor trying to outdo Matt Nagy and take Mitch Trubisky out of his comfort zone, man.
Those 2 interceptions versus the Packers were absolutely
terrible,
horrendous. Then against 34-30 versus the Lions, why did we lose that game? This man fumbled
That's
inside
not why.
the 5-yard
That's not why
line.
they lost the game, bruh. That's not why they lost the game, man. They ran down the field 95 yards.
Yep.
Then they made another. They scored another touchdown like that.
Yep.
Then Mitch
It
fumbled.
was a conundrum of all the Bears issues.
Thank you.
It was the defense,
Thank
the
you.
play calling,
Thank you.
and then the cherry on top, which is you have Mitch Trubisky as quarterback.
I agree. Now,
Okay.
Nick Foles went out the way Nick Foles always
I
goes
never
out.
want to see Nick Foles
Okay.
again in my football life.
Okay.
Power to him. He's in history because he has a ring. He's not my quarterback. Okay. Mitch Trubisky, he fumbled inside the 10.
Okay.
That is so flagrant.
What was the Bears were up? What was the final score?
They were up like 5. I think they were up like 4 or 5 points.
Before that though, they ran down the field. They were up 17.
Yeah, he turned into Peyton Manning.
Matt Stafford
yeah.
turned into Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones Jr. turned into Randy Moss.
And who did Mitch Trubisky turn into?
Himself.
Himself. Okay.
Brad Johnson won a.
Brad Johnson got respect. Yeah, I mean, go anywhere in Tampa. You know?
Mitch turned into Mitch. Okay, man.
Yo, the Mitch Trubisky era has to be over, man.
I disagree.
They have to wash their hands
I disagree.
of the stink of the last 3 years because I feel like if this ain't rock bottom, then who we? You know what I mean?
This ain't rock bottom.
Well, as far as at the quarterback position overall for this organization.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
If Mitch Trubisky ain't the last straw where it'd be like, look, man, like just ball it up, throw it in the garbage.
Then
Call Peyton Manning to see if he want to run the organization.
See.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm on, though.
Well, the Bears are not going to finish low enough to get one of the top QBs in next year's drafts.
Unfortunately, which is like, I'm watching this game like, Bears going to suck forever. Bears are going to be in this position forever.
Hey, man.
Okay? And if the Bears get to 8-8 and it saves Mitch Trubisky's Bears career, like our homie Reese just said in the comments, you may have to I'm not saying put my jersey in the rafters, but I may have to pull the COVID excuse, be like, I'm out for this year. I'll be back next year, but I'm sitting out.
Man, let's take a break, man. When we come back, this Bears conversation ain't over with, man.
Oh, no.
We are back to business. You on the soil rocking with the bigs, man.
Get up, dumped and fucked up and then left in a rusted bucket, biatch. Sick train of thought, only y'all can conduct it. Just when they thought I was dusted and not a touch, I adjusted, and bounced back like I had Spalding on me.
WIIFTBPM.
This is retired State Senator Ricky Hendon. This is my new song, Be My Christmas. It's on my House Party CD, produced by house music icon King Farley. It's available on my website, HollywoodHendon.com. And this is our new song, We Getting Lit. The album also has songs like Throwing the Money. Get the House Party CD in time for Christmas and New Year's Eve.
This is the king of house music, Farley Jack Master Funk, and I endorse Hollywood Ricky Hendon. Let's go to work. Come all the way with me.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
you got an inspirational word for today?
Oh, man, I'll be honored. Giving honor to God. Hey, man, on Sunday morning, it's early, so we got to give honor to God.
Yes, sir.
The good word for today is don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in our life, in our walk, in our days, in our journeys, we find a way to just worry about so many things.
Yeah.
And we just want to encourage you today that those worries is God's responsibility. It's God's responsibility because at the end of the day, what we worry about, most times we can't handle.
Yes.
If we would agree together, we can't handle it. So we have to give it to God. That's his responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And our job is to simply believe.
Yes.
Simply believe. When we believe, the Bible says all things are possible.
Come on through here.
I better leave that alone.
You feel feel it.
see coming.
So be anxious for nothing. Even the Bible says, don't worry about anything. In Matthew 6:33, it says, don't worry about anything, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things be added unto you. So we're here to encourage you. And I think that when we came on with the show, God's going to turn it around. A lot of people are kind of depressed and they feel like they've lost a lot of loved ones. We're into the thousands with deaths and COVID. But do you believe that God's going to turn it around?
I got to believe it.
I mean, seriously. Why?
Why? Because he's did it before.
Come on.
And he'll do it again.
I believe
Yes.
that you can do it again.
Yes. Yeah. Come on here.
Come on, I better leave that alone. I'm gonna get my
Somebody calling
kid.
you right now,
Somebody
Lord.
calling you right now. If it ain't one thing,
Yes.
I better go. God's gonna turn it around.
And I feel like we have to encourage the people because so many people are just truly depressed. They're going through the holiday blues, and we want you to know that you don't have to be discouraged. But you can, in fact, be encouraged because God's going to turn it around.
Turn it around.
I wish I had one witness in the house.
You got one.
Got a couple of them.
I got
Got a
some
couple of them.
Two T's.
Give me a testimony.
Oh Lord, he's did it before. Oh Lord.
I got one.
Oh,
Better. I got 5 reasons.
5 reasons. Oh Lord, he turned it around.
Turn it around. He woke me up
He
this
woke me
morning.
up this morning. Oh, don't do this. Don't do this.
Go
Number
ahead.
4.
He woke me up this
woke
morning.
me up this morning. Come on, number 3. Come.
He woke me up.
Oh Lord,
He woke you
that
up.
thing can touch you. One
telling
of
you.
them 5s will get you. What's the second one?
He woke
Oh, yes sir, yes sir.
Oh my God.
And the number 1 reason,
Number 1, final answer.
he woke me up
He
this
woke
morning.
me up this
He
morning.
woke me up this morning.
That's a testimony.
That's a
Turn that thing
testimony.
It's me again.
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
Stacking his money to the ceiling. Big trapper business, granny told me get it. These niggas all frauds, pillow talking bitches, been here from the start. No amount of pussy keep me from the money, took them L's before. Man, niggas already know what it is, man. Ill motion shit, you already know. Run it, run it, run it, run it. Mattress was my bank account. Shorty blinking movies like he Paramount. Can't compare amounts. Always to the paper, even in the drought. Run it, 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 run it like Emmett. I need a percentage. Turn wifey to widow, and then she go missing. The baby's forgiven. We at your head like a scrimmage. We at your head like a scrimmage.
We are back on the soil. Gene is trying to explain to me what this Bears W means after they smacked the Houston Texans up, man. I want y'all in the comments to tell me how y'all feel about the Bears right now. We spent the last 6 weeks.
I see the comments going crazy, man.
How do they feel, bro?
A lot of people are
Are they
saying
feeling
Mitch
it?
needs to go. Wishful thinking with,
There you go.
know, but it's not happening, man. That's why
There
me
you
and you
go.
are behind the microphone. That's why we're fans. We ain't Ted Phillips and Ryan Pace and them, man.
You know what? I want the people to turn up the pressure, though. You feel me? I feel like as long as the people stay on point and they don't let wins like yesterday kind of pull them off of the fire, you feel me? Because the Bears have to address their issues, man. I don't care how bad they beat Deshaun Watson down 3 wide receivers and a running back. Okay? I don't care how bad they beat the Texans. They have issues that better be addressed. I wish they was addressed a couple of weeks ago.
What's the number one issue that needs to be addressed?
That's a good question, Gino, because I feel like I seesaw back and forth from the quarterback position to play calling to the whoever's at the top of the organization making the decisions, man. I still am more inclined to believe you have to cut the head off. You feel me? In order to chop this giant down, you have to go to the very top and then work your way down. So if that means Ted Phillips gets to walk away gracefully into the sunset and say that he's retiring, cool, man. If that's how they want to handle it, cool. I know he's been there over 20 years. It's more than just a business relationship when it comes to Ted Phillips, because if it wasn't, he would have been fired.
Right.
Okay? And then after that, I'm looking at Ryan Pace. I'm looking at all the people anybody that with Ted Phillips' name or handprints on him, you may be up on that Summer Jam scream to get snipped. You feel me? I'm looking at Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy as twins, as one and the same.
Garpax.
Exactly, bro. I don't want either one of them. If one goes, the other has to be right there, follow him out the door. And then after that, you got to wash your hands of Mitch Trubisky, because you should have never drafted him in the first place. And that's not even Mitch Trubisky's fault.
Right.
He didn't know that he was gonna get picked by a team that traded up for him and put a city like Chicago and the Bears' hopes and dreams on his back. Like, do you remember that Chicago magazine cover that he did with the coffee mug? I knew it was over when I saw that. I'm like, he doesn't know what he's about to get himself into, G. The first 2 or 3 interceptions, all of that's done with, bruh. No more covers of magazines, no more of that. And I feel like he will already, even in his 3rd or 4th year as a pro, would really benefit from being somewhere other than Chicago. Like, what organization has a starting quarterback that isn't solidified, that if they underperform, if they get hurt, you'll be happy to have Mitch Trubisky come in, and step in. That cannot be the Bears. They cannot settle for subpar quarterbacks anymore. The next quarterback they bring in here either better be a top rookie quarterback or a proven veteran.
So we know next year, Matthew Stafford, we've talked about this for a couple weeks now. We know Matt Stafford will be on the market. And I know he probably has a good time playing in the NFC. What are we? NFC North.
Yeah, man.
And, hey, man, I wouldn't mind seeing Matt Stafford over here. It's going to take a lot of bread to get him here. But, hey, man, spend that bag if y'all want to do that.
I'd take either Matt. I'd take Matt Stafford.
Or Matty Ice.
Matty Ice from Atlanta.
I like Matty Ice, but you got to remember who you're dealing with. So let's start with the number one problem, which is management. I agree with you. Ted Phillips, take your ass on. Ryan Pace, I want to see his head on the cutting board right now.
And
man.
where is Ryan Pace,
man?
Bro?
Ryan Pace is never. That's what blows me about them, man. Like Theo, Jed, all of those guys, they're always available to talk. Pax, Pax.
Yeah, Pax.
They told him, man, go sit in the corner somewhere and don't talk.
John Paxson was going to fluff it up, but he was going to.
At least he was there. You could run into Pax in the tunnel or 100%, and he will holler at you. Where Ryan Pace, man? Where you at, man? He knows what time it is, bro. He knows that we want his head chopped off more than anybody else's. Matt Nagy is a close second. But it's all about the management, man. I think it starts there.
Facts, bro.
Then, like Reese just said, it's all about playing to the team's strengths, man. I told you before, it's just like the Bulls, bro. We do not have the horses to keep up with the rest of the league. We have average talent at best. Maybe a little better than average. I won't say average because if you're a professional athlete, you're better than average. So let me not try to play the guys like that because they're fantastic athletes and great players. But when you talk about, it's just like us. It's just like I talked about when I was in high school. I was all area, all city, all of that. But when I got to Southern University down South Louisiana in Baton Rouge, and I got to playing against and with other guys who were all state and all area and all city from all around the country, it was a different ball game. So I feel like it's the same thing. These guys are great in their own right, but when you get to the league and everybody is great, and then you got guys who are exceptional, then you got guys who are stars, then you got guys who are superstars, then you got guys who are going to be all-time greats. We're lacking in the talent department. So with that being said, you have to play to the strengths of your team, and I feel like first of all, that starts with David Montgomery. There's no way in hell that David Montgomery should not end any Bears game with less than 20 rushing attempts, bro.
Oh, and I promise you it's probably happened more often
He hasn't had 20
They're
rushing
not.
attempts all year.
Yeah, come on.
He had the first play from scrimmage yesterday, 80 yards.
80 to the
To the
house.
house. He had 10 more carries.
Or he had 9 more carries.
9 more. No, he finished with 11.
He finished with
11
11.
carries for 113 yards.
Whew. You know what? And you said 113 yards
113.
with 80 on the first. The Bears are lucky they won that game. You know what I mean? Without having to explain only giving him, 10 more carries after the first one goes for 80. I think you could have, it makes me feel like they could have ended that game a little earlier than they did. You know what I mean? And it was really never close. But, what does David Montgomery have to do to be like, oh yeah, this is a David Montgomery game. We just gonna feed David Montgomery until they can't take no more.
I'm pretty sure Demo is probably cool with it. Less on his body.
Oh yeah.
Give him a couple extra years in the league.
And Trubisky played a mistake-free game.
Yeah, 3
That's
touchdowns,
what you
no
want.
turnovers.
Yeah, no turnovers, no fumbles.
And I feel like it was just 2 different energy levels from the beginning of the game. Like I said, Mitch coming in with the whole Deshaun Watson thing in his ear all week.
And Deshaun missing everybody. The energy was different all game. I'm looking at the comments. I want to throw a couple of more quarterback names at you. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No.
Now, why not?
Because why?
Because he can, and I'm not saying yes.
Okay then.
But he can actually.
You ain't saying yes then.
I'm not
there we
saying
go.
yes, but he would be the best
Nah,
quarterback.
he wouldn't. I would take Matt Stafford over Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Matt Stafford, yes, but Mitch Trubisky, anybody.
Give me Mitch over Ryan Fitzpatrick. Next. Next.
Timeout. What is the Miami
Give me
Dolphins?
Mitch over Ryan Fitzpatrick, man.
Absolutely not. Please don't give me Mitch over Ryan Fitzpatrick. If Ryan Fitzpatrick is the best you can do this offseason, cool. Okay, but don't forget, and I want you to marinate on this while we take a break real quick. Dak Prescott may be looking for a new team after next season.
I will welcome Dak to Soldier Field.
We'll be right back on the Soil, y'all.
Make it home safe. You never know what to expect when living life up in the jacks when wrong step could be the reason you don't make it home safe. Gang writings on the walls, niggas running from
WIFTVPM.
Listening to the Bigs with Eugene, McIntosh, and Terrence Tomlin.
He's bare-chested,
Right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West End for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers, Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button. Smash that share button. And continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West End for the Black People Media Studios.
I roll with drapers that keep liquor stores tipping. From Rothschild's 111 to Sunset on Division. Prestige, famous liquors know our names when they see us chiefing. Wang and speakers, we came for at least a leader. Peep the procedure, we breeze in. Ante up like MOP then. Grab what we need and we ain't leaving till we descend. It's yak in the air and I'm fiending for a fever. That rim thing on my pimp game. Preach like deacons. I might tell, but with a sample of that privilege, I had the staff grab a half a gallon handle of that vintage XO. Love you dig and we can gamble with them digits. Pass the Cavassier, sipping straight till we finish with it. For sure, player, grab about 4 Vegas with bottles and black bags, rotating with no chasers. We gon' player posted like we in the paint. Where the cups grab the ice, bless the bottle and pass the drink. Stay posted on the land, getting busted with my mans. With our cups in our hands, bless the bottle and pass the drink. Taking shot after shot in the car with a bottle out west. spinning block. Just the bottle and pass the drink. You can make mine a double, whether yak or the bubbly, don't matter, just keep them coming. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. It's the Chi-Town tradition. Welcome to my city, let me show you how we kick. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. What you finna do? I'm finna get loose, sip on some booze. If you with it, we can kick as soon as I slip out the booth. We can cruise through the city limits and slip through the loop. Soon as I'm finished, give me a minute, then I can slip into you. Picture the mood, let me get you in tune. This how we do. I'm a bend, rolling that bluish, ooish, sticky, yeah, ooh. We can spin through the window and see what that Remy do. I know a spot on Madison, I got Henny for 22. Let me slip inside you while we slide like listen shoes. Listening to the newest exclusive, big glue the music, get you in the mood. In the nude, out them denim blues while we drink on. In between songs like interludes, gotta thank him a fool, cause I'm trying to see you. In between sheets and covers like interviews. From the news till you reach the pinnacle, seeing sights you never knew. Tonight you ready? I'm outside ready to make that move. Stay posted on the land, getting busted with my mans, with our cups in our hands. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. Taking shot after shot in a car with a bottle out west, spinning block. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. You can make mine a double, whether yak or the bubbly, don't matter, just keep them coming. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. It's the Chi-Town tradition. Welcome to my city, let me show you how we kick. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. Killed the corner from a pint I had last night on the corner with bags. To them people was on me flashing they flashlights, but I was on it. I'm knowing they trying to act like they own it, cause they roam in these streets. It's just the facts, right? They ain't on nothing anyway. Any day is tough when you hustling just to get a plate at dinner tables. That's why we drink away pain with fifths, thinking of ways to raise our chips from days on tips to fade and niggas with clip butts, changing shifts or shaving nicks with the blades with the razor tips. I'm trying to stay legit and let my paper lift off the flip from my greatest hits on laser disc. As I take a sip, 2 cups past wasted, a bottle on the way, I can't resist the temptation. I'm already been in the demonstration, of course I'm waiting while the drinkers bless the court with they stay posted on the land, getting busted with my mans.
We are back on the soil. Looking down the road at the Bears quarterback situation, man. We always say, or we've said for the last couple of weeks, that you look at the Bears record, they'd had to make some moves to get to the top of the draft and get Justin Fields or, whoever the top quarterback is in the draft this year. I'm looking at the top 10 available free agent quarterbacks this next offseason if the Bears go that route. We already mentioned Ryan Fitzpatrick. All right, I'm going to throw a few more names at you. Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton is
who's
huff.
holding it down for the Cowboys right now.
Andy Dalton is huff, but, he's all right.
Tyrod Taylor.
I'll take Tyrod.
Who just lost it. Yeah, he had a punctured lung, thanks to the doctors.
They didn't care. Right.
Exactly, but he lost his job to Justin Herbert, a rookie.
Justin Herbert is a gunslinger. That's cool, but I would take Tyrod.
Jacoby Brissett, who's over there backing up Phillip Rivers right now.
I think Jacoby Brissett is a good backup.
Yeah.
I don't know about him starting. He did pretty good as a starter when Buddy quit.
Andrew Luck walked away.
Yeah, I like Jacoby Brissett.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, they got him ranked above Jacoby Brissett as
why? Of course they do.
As the 6th best available quarterback next offseason.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
After that is your man. I want to know, if you would rather have this
Scam?
Scam is next.
No, miss me with Scam.
You look at how limited that Patriots offense is, and they don't have a bunch of weapons either. But Cam really doesn't look like that Cam
at all. His arm looks terrible. His accuracy is bad. I never really liked the way Cam Newton played. Even on his MVP season, I felt like everything went right for them that year. I'm not taking anything away from Cam, but at this point in his career, he's scammed, and I don't want him in the Bears uniform.
I'm more inclined to agree with you than not right now. Next is an interesting name that's popping out to me, bruh. Jameis Winston, man. He's sitting on those, New Orleans sidelines right now, watching Taysom Hill do his thing. I think he can go be a starter somewhere,
Has Jameis really learned, though? I think Jameis has too much fun. I think you have to have fun doing that.
Have to.
But I think you have to be raw, and I think you have to master your craft before you can
Jameis is going to have fun. Did you see that locker room?
I saw it. But that's
still eating the W's.
That's cool because he's a backup, and he's not. He's a scout team quarterback.
he's one of those guys where you know what you're gonna get. You know you're gonna get the arm. You also know you're gonna get the interceptions with it. They got Mitchell Trubisky ranked in front of him as the third best quarterback available in 2021, y'all.
I damn near would take Mitch over. No, I'm gonna take Jameis. I would give Jameis a chance. I think Mitch.
Because I was about to say you must have been in that draft room when the Bears took Mitch over Deshaun Watson, bro.
No, I was watching Gruden's camp when John Gruden told y'all that Mitch wasn't that dude to be trying to move up.
I remember that.
So I'm with you on that. I just feel like Jameis, man, and I'm all for black quarterbacks. I feel like they get, they don't get the same opportunity, but I'm all for Jameis, man. If he's, I feel like being with Sean Payton, maybe, he's getting the chance to learn behind Drew Brees and learn behind Taysom Hill and learn what it takes to be in an organization who's known for winning and who ain't taking no stuff. Sean Payton is one of them guys who has a very high IQ, and I feel like just being able to sit in with Drew Brees and not down there in Tampa where everything was kind of just all over the place.
Exactly,
I
man.
think that was cool at first, but now at this point in his career, I feel like Jameis is on him to be in there. I mean, it would be great if he was getting some expertise from a guy like Donovan McNabb or a guy like Michael Vick or guys like that who've been in the league and had
been in those exact shoes.
And be able to give him a couple gems that could help him, because I'm pretty sure there are a few teams out here that would love to have Jameis as their starting quarterback.
I feel like I wonder if Jameis feels like being a backup in New Orleans is better than being a starter somewhere else, on a lesser team. Hopefully because he is learning how to be a better quarterback. And if Jameis is available, he may be one of the cheaper options, if you're looking for a starting quarterback, because the next two, I feel like may garner a check. Well, we know Phillip Rivers is walking away. They got him next.
He should have walked away this year, but sometimes
the Colts are happy to, Colts are happy to have him right now.
And I'm not a Phillip Rivers fan at all, but I will give him his props. Phillip Rivers does show the guy that warrants those huge contracts that he signs all those years. So I give Phillip Rivers his credit, man. But yeah, after this year, he can go and call it one.
Number one on the list is the guy we left off talking about, Dak Prescott, who for some reason just feels like the Dallas Cowboys are trying whatever, they were trying whatever they can to get rid of him and maybe go after Trevor Lawrence in the draft. His leg injury kind of complicates things because he was balling. He was going freaking crazy before he got hurt.
So what's his deal? Is this his last year? Did they franchise him or what?
Yeah, this is his last year. He's looking to get paid. And I'm looking at the facts of his situation as far as the money goes right now. He's playing on a franchise tag in 2020 worth over $31 million. The Cowboys would need to pay a hefty price to keep the quarterback in Dallas. He would likely demand a $40 million contract extension.
Well, the Bears ain't paying Dak Prescott $40 million, and they ain't having no black quarterback as the face of their franchise.
You see what? As long as, and I agree, but as long as that statement stays attached to the Bears, bro, how can we respect what they got going on?
Because when they allow fans back in the building, Soldier Field is going to be filled to the tippy top. Bears merch is going to be going crazy. And that just is what it is,
But
man.
see, now that's what I like about Bears fans, and I respect it. You know what I mean? When the Bears suck, they don't show up. You know what I mean? Soldier Field is going to be empty. When the fans show up, if the Bears still suck, that drive into the Waldron lot is going to be a lot smoother than it is if they're killing. You know what I mean? I remember that 2018 season, the last time they were in the playoffs. That time, the following season, boy, I was speeding down Lakeshore, almost forgetting to hop off. I'm like, oh, damn, ain't no traffic. Is it a Bears game today? So the fans always respond. That's why I say they got to keep the pressure on these guys.
Well,
don't let the Bears flip this into we're going to give it one more shot. No.
Man, that TV money.
Yo,
hey, that TV money is talking, man.
Now that I feel like
y'all don't want to buy y'all don't want to buy tickets to the game. That's cool. These suites are still sold out. These corporate tickets are still going. Hey, Bears fans, do your thing. We don't care. It's Bears fans all around the world, man.
On that though, bro, I want to ask you about a member of the offense, another offensive player, bro. Allen Robinson.
Hey, Rob.
did his thing yesterday. I think he had.
A-Rob had, I'm already here, 9 catches for 123 and a touchdown, 13 targets.
And was working. You know what I mean? He was giving the secondary of the Texans problems really all game. And the question remains, though, is he a number one receiver?
No, I've been telling you this all year. No, man,
you
no.
You don't think Allen Robinson is a number one receiver? What
okay,
does he lack? What does he lack?
There are 30, how many teams are there in the league? 32?
Yes.
So he's a number one receiver for the Bears?
What qualities does he lack that you wish he had?
It ain't about that. Is he? We named the top quarterbacks already, the top wide receivers already, man. Is he in the class of Julio? Is he in the class of Devontae? Is he in the class? Okay, then those are the number one receivers.
I mean, Julio may be the second best receiver on his team now, but that's only because Calvin Ridley is off the chain.
Okay,
so he may not be in either one of those classes, but
hold on. Let me go. Let me go to the NFL real quick. Let me go and let's go down the list. Let's find some teams and let's go to Buffalo Bills. Is he better than
Stephon Diggs?
No.
Yes.
No. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. You let
Excuse
it fly.
my language, Mama, because I know my mama is watching. I try to reserve my foul language for off air, but. No, Allen Robinson ain't better than Stephon Diggs, bro.
Give me A-Rob over Stephon Diggs.
Next, the Dolphins. I couldn't tell you who's their number one.
Devontae Parker.
That's your boy, right?
I like him, but he's not on Allen Robinson's level.
Okay, I don't even know who that is. So.
He's nice. He's nice, but
nice.
Give me Allen Robinson.
Nice ain't number one.
Okay, go.
The Patriots. I don't know who. Julian Edelman. He ain't even playing.
We can go. Patriots. They would love
the
Allen
Jets.
Robinson.
Definitely don't know nobody on their.
Jamison Crowder, and no.
Let's see. The Redskins. Don't know anybody.
What? Terry McLaurin.
I don't know him.
Give me Terry. Give me Terry.
Over A-Rod?
Yeah.
Okay. The Giants.
They got Darius Slay over there. The young cat, but you see now he may be one of the best young receivers in the league. And I feel like Allen Robinson is like going to be back, when it comes to his contract, Darius Slay and all these other wide receivers, it's like, are you better than Darius Slay? Do I need to go back into the draft and get me a top wide receiver?
DK Metcalf?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then. DeAndre Hopkins?
Come on.
Devontae Adams? No. Who's for the Vikings?
Adam Thielen.
Give me Buddy. Give me the white boy.
And Justin Jefferson.
Give me the white homie.
Give me Allen Robinson over Adam Thielen.
All right.
Give me Allen Robinson over Adam Thielen.
The Saints. Michael Thomas. No. The Buccaneers. Michael Evans. No. The Falcons. Calvin Ridley and Julio.
You don't think Allen Robinson's better than Mike Evans?
Hell no.
Why not?
I want the big plays, man. He's the only wide receiver we got, so he gonna get 9 targets. If the Buccaneers didn't have what's Buddy that just came back with the hand injury?
What about if Allen Robinson had a competent quarterback?
He's
getting 9 receptions and over 100 yards with Mitch Trubisky, and Mitch doesn't know who else is on his team other than that.
Hey,
I mean, if he had a better quarterback, Allen Robinson would benefit. He would look better than he is right now. This is a guy that make Blake Bortles look good.
We need to take a break, bro. When we come back, are we gonna continue this Bears conversation and Allen Robinson, or are we gonna get into the Bulls, man?
I guess we can wrap up the Bears conversation and lead it into the Bulls. I got something I want to throw at you as far as the Bears go to wrap it up.
All right, man. We'll be back. You on the soil rocking with the bigs, man.
WIFTBPM.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting.
Right.
And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to hold
genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. You know, however, you know, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me.
WIIFTBPM. Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
It's time to take a look forward at the Bears' schedule, man. After they beat the Texans, we've been asking, what does it all mean? It means that they're still in the playoff hunt, bruh.
Ooh.
If they can find a way to beat the Vikings next week, then they're really in that conversation, honestly.
Are they in Minnesota?
They're going to be in Minnesota. The Bears are on the road 2 out of the next 3 weeks. They go from Minnesota next week to Jacksonville.
And finish up against
at home versus Green Bay. They have to go 2-1 in those 3 games
to finish 8-8.
Yeah, to try to at least be in the best position they can to snatch that final wild card position.
I feel like if momentum is a thing,
the Vikings are in the play. If the season ended right now, the Vikings are in.
Right. So I feel like with everything at stake, with this season being tough, with everything at stake, and if momentum is a thing and they can play off of the momentum from this week, I feel like they can go in there and beat Minnesota next week. The defense has to have the best game of the year. I think they're going to run Dalvin Cook down our throats. You saw what I think that's one thing the Bears have done very well this year, especially with Akeem Hicks in the lineup. Outside of maybe 1 or 2 games, the Rams when the rookie guy was running all over us.
And Alvin Kamara, but he had a good game through the air.
Through the air, right. Mm-hmm. I feel like other than that, when they face big-time running backs, King Henry and a number of other guys, they stepped up to the challenge. So I feel like next week is going to be no different. Minnesota, we all know the key to their offense is Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen in the passing game is secondary. And I feel like Kirk Cousins, he knows that. And he plays off of that. I feel like once they get Dalvin Cook going, and then you got to throw 8 in the box. Then they run that play action stuff, and that's where Adam Thielen and those receivers and tight ends become the guys that they are. So I feel like the Bears can go into Minnesota, beat the Vikings, and if they do that, they got to go to Jacksonville and beat the Jaguars. I feel like that's the Mike Glennon game where it's going to be a lot. Mike Glennon is going to be looking to put up numbers on those guys, but you got to take it 1 week at a time. Green Bay, you know how that goes.
You got to take it 1 week at a time, but I feel like it's hard not to be, scoreboard watching.
No doubt.
With these last 3 games, and I'm looking at them right now, bruh. If they find a way to win versus the Vikings and beat the Jaguars, bruh, you're talking about the Bears in a playoff.
In the offs.
In the offs, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to come off as a hater.
Oh, you're coming off as a hater.
Because I've been hating the last couple of weeks. I've definitely been hating on the Bears. But
it's good hate, though.
Yeah, it's because they've disappointed me. You feel like they should have shown better than what they've shown.
Right.
But man, if you're the Bears defense, you're coming off playing Deshaun Watson. You're not scared of Kirk Cousins and the Vikings
At all.
You know what I mean? Even with losing what they lost 19-13 to the Vikings a few weeks ago, you're not scared of the Vikings, and you're definitely not scared of the Jaguars.
Right.
So that Packers game, you say, okay, it's versus the Packers. We're going to, record doesn't matter. If it's something on the line for that game, then I wonder if the Packers sit Aaron Rodgers because they're going to have
just mail it in.
But the Packers don't,
at all. Not you
like,
ain't mailing nothing in. The Bears,
come
Packers.
on. They like if we can stick a nail in the Bears' coffin, then give me the hammer.
0-15, and the same for the Bears. The Bears could be 0-15, and it's like if we get a chance to win our only game of the season against Green Bay, that'll make our season. Not really, but you know what I mean. Again, I feel like Bears-Packers is the ultimate NFL rivalry game. I feel like anybody and everybody, when they see the Bears and Packers on the schedule, they're going to be tuned into that. But like we said, man, you got to take it 1 week at a time. They're going into Minnesota next week. Both teams are what, 6-8, 6-7?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, man, it's all about the defense next week. I feel like, was Bill Lazor making the calls yesterday?
He was, and shout out to him. He was doing his thing yesterday.
Kept it simple, played to the strengths of Mitch, get Demo the ball 20 times. Hey, if they stop him 18 of those 20 times, so well be it. But you got to get Demo the ball more. You got to establish that run game. You got to keep Mitch doing what he does best. Let him get outside the pocket, dink and dump. Make those 8-9 yard reads across the middle to A-Rob. Let A-Rob be the guy he is with the hands. Let Darnell Mooney continue to strive to be becoming one of the top receivers in the league. And maybe Anthony Miller can make a catch or two. Komet played a good game yesterday. Jimmy Graham had a touchdown.
Yes, he did, and I feel like that's an important development.
It is.
That the offense works better when you got good tight ends, man.
I agree.
Jimmy Graham, not a bad dude to learn from, you know?
Man.
So, yeah, Gene, you can't put away your Bears jerseys yet, y'all.
Man, we've been trying
They
all
are
year.
in the hunt, okay? The Bears are totally in the hunt for that final playoff spot.
You've been trying all year. We've been trying all year, man. You know me, you and Herb, we go at it each week on the kickoff, kickback. The Bears have let all of us down. The Bears have let Bears City down. But, again, man, the playoff hunt is still an option, man. It's right there for us. And they got to go into Minnesota and make it happen next week. So, Big Mac, Akeem, Eddie Jack, Jalen, Kyle Fuller.
Come on,
man. Come on, guys.
The mission is clear. It's right there. We'll see how it goes these next couple of weeks on the road for the Bears, Vikings, Jaguars, man. Hey, bear down, man.
Money making Mitch.
I'm over last week's, you know what I mean, like, emotions and the whole Deshaun Watson thing. I'm over that, man. Bear down. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Bear
go.
down, man.
Let's take a quick break. Can we take a quick break real quick, DJ? I think somebody else got his attention, but it's all good. We want to talk Bulls because they have 2 preseason games under their belt. Jen, you were at the game yesterday. And I got some questions to ask you about guys like Kobe White and Zach LaVine, Larry Markin and Wendell Carter Jr.
Ooh.
DJ, can we take a quick break real quick? Let's take a quick break. On the other end of it, we'll be talking Bulls, man. You're on the soil with the bigs.
Yep.
WIFTBPM. Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the bigs.
This is retired State Senator Ricky Hendon. This is my new song, Be My Christmas. It's on my House Party CD, produced by house music icon King Farley. It's available on my website, HollywoodHendon.com. And this is our new song, We Getting Lit. The album also has songs like Rona Money. Get the House Party CD in time for Christmas and New Year's Eve.
This is the king of house music, Farley Jack Master Funk, and I endorse Hollywood Ricky Hendon. Let's go to work.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on top. Before I ever put the arm and hammer in the pot, daddy went home, told mama she could leave me on the block. If a nigga need work done, ain't hard to find if you paid it right.
right price, I be Johnny on the spot. Paid the plug extras just to fit it with a dot. 50 in the drum, only need 3 shots. I be telling these niggas I'm surgical with it. Ain't trained to be asking, I'm trained to go get it. If it's sustained, then you know I'm gon' hit it. Take nobody with me, don't need co-defendants. No lean in my cup, I don't need codependence. No pills in my blood, just a still in some gloves. And the steamer that's built and the bitch that's in love. Cause when I need an alibi, that's where I'm gon' be. West side of Shire, that's the home of 2-3. Used to breaking people cars parked at the UC. Fuck 'em, Chief said stick 'em, so we stuck 'em. I was leaning dick to these hoes, I don't love 'em. Waited long to get to these flows, I was stubborn. Got shit to say, gotta get it off my chest. Used to have to pack a piece to get a piece of mind. I ain't resting in peace now, so a nigga feel blessed.
A nigga from the bottom.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Focused on the win, I ain't focused on the op. Made it out the streets, but it still fuck the cops.
A nigga from the bottom.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Used to rise and shine, had to get my proper chop. Keeping one up in the pipe, cause the streets don't stop.
A nigga from
if you start shit, nigga, I'ma finish. Knock a nigga foam off the top like Guinness. Sipping, used to be in Houston, steady tipping. Now I'm out in Cali where these niggas set tripping. I stay in my lane, the streets, man, they put me on game. How real you is, got shit to do with your chain and your watch. Real is what pump through your veins, what you doing when the streets don't watch. Life is a song, keep it moving, cause the beat don't stop till they put me in a box. Trying to get a bag, and I'ma get to it with a mic or a mask. If you try to stop me, that's a fight for your ass. Used to put the work in the bags, they was busting. If a clucker wasn't smoking, they was dusting. Had them nodding off like they was sipping Robitussin. About bread bullshit, ain't about nothing. Niggas still capping for the hoes trying to front. 5 in the cipher, only smoking 1 blunt. No gas in they whip, only 1 clip between them. Got 2 guns, but they don't even clean them. Staying in their mama crib, running where your mama live. If you want smoke, I can bring a whole pack. Pull off with your bitch, let her run through the click, or put half on the Uber just to send the bitch back.
A nigga from the bottom.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Focused on the win, I ain't focused on the op. Made it out the streets, but it's still fuck the cops.
We are the Bigs, and you are on the soil kicking it with the Bigs, man. The illest independent sports media outlet in the land. I'm your man, Terrence Tomlin, coming to you as usual with my partner in crime, the one and only Eugene McIntosh.
Yes, sir. What the bid know?
You got to tell me what it is, man. You at the UC last night for game 2 of the preseason, man. A double dip with the Houston Rockets. They got smashed something serious in the first game of the preseason. Come back a couple days later with a 104-91 victory. But it's the preseason. You know what I mean? So it's more about what you see on the court over the end result. You know what I mean? So with Billy Donovan on the sideline, I feel like he's doing what a lot of us are doing. It's like, okay, what do we have? Yeah, I mean, he has to see up close what these guys are made of since they decided not to do much in the free agent. In free agency, you're pretty much bringing the same guys back with Patrick Williams, who you drafted as the 4th overall pick in this past draft. So you're going with Kobe White as your primary ball handler. Zach is your scorer at the 2. Otto Porter, who is another guy I want to ask you about at the 3. Is it Wendell Carter Jr. at the 4 and Laurie at the 5?
Top, yep.
What is your early opinion on that starting 5 for the Bulls?
The same opinion I had on that starting 5 last year for the Bulls. Huff.
Just huff.
I'm not going, man. First of all, Laurie Markkinen looks like he's regressed even more than last year. I think it's something playing in his mental. He looks like a stick man out there. He has his mobility looks limited. His skill level looks like it's diminished, and he just looks like he doesn't want to be here.
You see, I'm speechless right now because let's start with Laurie because what was he, 1 for 10?
He was 1 for 10
last night, 3 points.
Yeah,
and 0 for 5 from 3.
Joe Cowley asked Billy Donovan, was he worried about Laurie? And Billy was like, "What do you mean?" Because he bumped knees with David Nwaba, and people were scared about because Laurie's injury prone as well. So Billy Donovan was like, "What do you mean, his injury or his play?" And Joe was like, "His play, obviously." And Billy was like, "Man, I'm really just still trying to get to learn these guys the same way they're trying to learn me." And he was like, "Man, sometimes it just is what it is." And he was like, "I'm just trying to learn Laurie and learn where he, learn more about him. It's not necessarily about the basketball player, but you want to learn more about the guy And then maybe that could tell you more about the basketball player. So I thought that was interesting to hear. But I ain't worried about Larry. I'm set. He's Huff, man.
I feel like Larry has been Huff. But I feel like when you sit down and you discuss, how he's been early on in his career, is like, who is Larry Markkinen in the NBA? I mean, like, I think he's been coached. He's been coached to be a spot up shooter. I mean, but I think when you look at what he did before he came to the league, he was a much more active offensive player. So I don't know if he's like in an identity crisis right now, or if he's really Huff.
Whatever you want to call it, identity crisis, Huff, whatever you want to call it. Marks was calling him Baby Dirk his first year, and I wasn't feeling that.
See, that was always cap though. You know what I mean? That was always a reach.
Super.
And I'm not saying that I don't think Larry is Huff, but I'm not surprised that this is what he looks like after his first couple of seasons. I'm not surprised that he's just chucking shit up right now. Essentially.
But when does it become about you? When do we give it?
I feel like the 7th pick in the draft, it should, he's definitely under the microscope.
Thank you. And I just feel like his game hasn't evolved at all. It's regressed. It regressed last year, and from these first 2 preseason games, true enough, I know it's been 9 months since these guys have played a meaningful basketball game, but it's been 2 years since John Wall played. It's been a year. Boogie Cousins then tore his Achilles, tore his ACL, and they look decent. Now, okay, we talking about Boogie Cousins, a 20 and 10 guy,
that dude.
And John Wall, who's a 5-time All-Star, true enough. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we got to quit with the excuses, man.
Now, I feel you, but what's the learning curve for these guys? You know what I mean? Because, yes, they have a new coach, but it's not like they was going to flip a switch and look like better players. You say Larry Markkinen has regressed. Can you say the same about Wendell Carter Jr.?
I never thought Wendell was good from the jump, though. I thought Wendell was an average guy at Duke. I mean, his build fits the mold for this new NBA, but I feel like any guy that's 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", and up, you got to have some type of post game. You got to develop that before you can even think about stepping outside and shooting three-pointers.
He was 3 for 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. I was at the first game of the preseason. I do not understand why they want Wendell Carter Jr. to be this guy. Yeah, I mean, because what we heard about him was his touch around the basket.
No.
From the free throw to the basket is where he was supposed to live, right?
Wendell looked like he been smoking piff all summer and all fall, man.
You see with the baby dreads, that's a clear sign.
I'm glad he was rolling up. I'm glad he came out the baby dreads and came out with the fro last night, because the baby dreads wasn't doing nothing for him again. I feel like any guy, and that's this new NBA, man. They call it progression and evolution, and that's cool, whatever y'all want to call it. But I feel like any guy that's 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", mostly 6'10", because I feel like 6'9" is still, and even though it's only an inch, I feel like 6'9" and 6'10" are two totally different things. So I feel like any guy that's 6'10", that's a power forward. You need to have a post game. You need to have a jump hook. You need to have a soft touch around the rim. You need to be able to dominate. You need to average 15 and 10 down low, man. Tim Duncan was the master of his craft. Kevin Garnett, and again, we talking about Hall of Famers, but these are guys who you should patent your games after.
For as ever.
Amari Stoudemire, even Kenyon Martin.
Oh, yeah.
These guys were menaces down low. They mastered their craft down low. But Tim Duncan always had the 15-footer off the glass.
That's how he made a living. It's like, I'm going to stay on the floor with this one.
KG, he's had the 15-footer. He could step out to 18. We saw KG in high school.
In the corner.
Good
luck, fam.
Back to the basket game. When do you master your back to the basket game? When do you master the jump hook? When do you master the 15-footer? I feel like Wendell Carter has passed all of that up and tried to move out to shooting the three. And like I said yesterday on the live I did on Periscope during the pregame, I hope Billy Donovan and them guys are not pushing that forward, man, and not encouraging him to become a three-point shooter, because it kills me that every time they run that same pick and roll, pick and pop, why the hell is Wendell picking and popping to the three, man? That's That's just not conducive to a positive offensive output for the Bulls, man.
I feel like you're right, but at the same time, I know what the league is today. I know that they want the four to be able to keep you at the 3-point line in the pick and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you got Nikola Jokic.
See, now that is where I feel Billy Donovan and Arturis are going to have to be smart. Because, yes, we understand what style you want to play. But like you said, do you have the dogs? Wendell Carter Jr. is not Jokic.
He's not a dog.
He's not a playmaker from the top of the key. I feel like he's one-dimensional at the top of the key. He's going to shoot it. Like, he's not going to take you off the dribble. You feel me? And he refuses, I feel like he refuses, Gene, to develop, back to the basket game. So I feel like that's going to be an issue all year with the style of basketball that these guys want to play, which brings me to the next player that I feel like is in a position where he's trying to be something he's not.
Kobe White,
the starting point guard for the Bulls. We've been hearing, the term primary ball handler.
Yeah, whatever.
How do you think he's looked in the preseason trying to adjust to that role?
I mean, he's looked okay. I mean, I just feel like they need to stop trying to make Kobe White CP3. Kobe White should be playing off the ball. Even if he is going to be the point guard, I still feel like with this game becoming a positionless game of basketball, I feel like you can throw Zach LaVine, because I saw Zach bring the ball up the court plenty of times last night.
He played point guard for a full season in Minnesota this last year.
Come on, man. So I feel like they need to take Kobe White off of the ball. Maybe not take him off of the ball, but he needs to be off the ball more than with trying to be CP3.
Take him off the ball.
He needs to be coming off of down screens. He needs to be coming off of pin downs, curls, open. He needs to, when Kobe White is coming down in the open court, he needs to be looking to get a bucket. He can make. It's all about making the play, man. You don't have to. Chris Paul is an acquired. Chris Paul is a very, very high IQ player. Chris Paul is one of a kind. Stop trying to turn him into that guy and let him do him. Kobe White is a guy who needs to get between 17 and 19 points a game for the Bulls and not be some old primary point guard that they're trying to push, man.
Yeah.
That's not conducive to him being the best that he can be.
I definitely feel like if you keep the ball in Kobe's hands, you're taking away your second best scorer. You know what I mean? From the team, trying to make him a facilitator. You look at his offensive numbers yesterday, man. A dub, 7 for 15 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3.
Right.
5 assists. I thought on some of the plays where he was able to penetrate, he made good decisions.
And there you go, T. It's all about, you got to let these guys play, man. You can't pin this thing into his head like you want him to. And I'm not saying, I'm just using CP3 as an example.
But he's the bar.
But he's the bar. And he raised Kobe, played for his AAU team, and he's like his mentor. So it's like, let Kobe grow and be able to make the decisions on the fly. I think when you have him out there trying to run the pick and roll and I think that's dead. You need to let him come off that pick and roll, think and score, but then if it's not there, then you make the smart decision. This is the time where he said it. Over these 9 months since they played a game, he's tried to get better at decision-making, ball handling, and those things that are going to take his game to the next level. But I think at the worst, Kobe White needs to get at least 14 to 15 shots. I think Kobe White should have the second most shot attempts on the team after Zach LaVine.
Okay. And I'm looking at the roster. First of all, I 100% agree with you. Kobe is that second weapon behind Zach right now with the roster as is.
Right.
I'm wondering if that starting lineup is the Bulls' best 5, though. With Pat Williams, yes, he's only 2 games into his NBA career, but he obviously looks like one of the better players on this team. Is that your starting 5, or how would you reshuffle it? Like, what would your starting 5 be?
I mean, that's a cool starting 5, man. I feel like Pat Williams, I did say why not just throw him in the fire from the jump, but I feel like letting Pat Williams get his feet wet, learning behind a guy like Thaddeus Williams, maybe getting out there, because I saw in between, I don't know if they probably wasn't showing it, they were probably on commercial, but in between each break, Thaddeus Young was definitely teaching Pat Williams, which I thought was a great thing, and that's one of the main reasons why I love Thad, and I love to, we chop it up in the locker room after the game all the time with Thad, but that's one of the main reasons, because he's doing that out of love, for wanting to see Pat Williams succeed and being able to drop those gems. So I feel like letting Pat be 6th, 7th, 8th man off the bench, I think that's fine for now. I think that's probably the best starting lineup we got right now. It's all about Wendell and Laurie, man. Those are the two guys who are going to be the determining factors. We know what we're going to get from Zach. We know what we're going to get from Kobe. We know what we're going to get from, who's the small?
Otto.
Well, Otto is a good player. We know we're going to get there. It's all about those two guys, man, who seem like they've regressed, man, especially, like you said, with guys like Jurkic, Nikola. Is that his name? Nikola, what's in Denver? Jurkic and Nurkic in Portland. And all these guys, even Karl Anthony Towns, these guys who are 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet, who have a down low game but can step it outside and take it to the three.
Sir.
So if Laurie and Wendell don't come off any better than they did last year, we're going to be in a worse position than last year, and this thing is going to need to be rebuilt from the bottom next year.
The Bulls got an off day today. Before they get back to things versus the Oklahoma City Thunder and OKC, they're dealing with some issues as far as COVID. No update on that so far today because they're off. But, once they get back to practice tomorrow, I'm sure they're going to let people know what's going on. No Tomas Satoransky, no Denzel Valentine, Dotson. Did Dotson play yesterday?
All those guys are out.
Yeah, those guys, it's a mystery, but because of the NBA protocol, doesn't necessarily mean they have COVID. They may be getting contact traced. They may have, but we'll see what the Bulls say tomorrow. And that's it. You know what I mean? Let's take a break real quick. Want to come back and talk about something that Gene has been keeping on the front of my mind when it comes to HBCU sports, man. We got to talk about Deion Sanders and what's going on as far as HBCU sports. We'll be right back on the soil.
Yep.
WIIFTVPM.
Minding our black-owned business. We're hanging out this morning with Michael Drayton. We're talking money. Talk to me about investments and your viewpoint on Robinhood and somebody looking to get started in investments.
The Robinhood phenomenon is an app that was initially created so that people can sort of get involved in stocks by buying what's called partial shares, right? At one point, Tesla's stock was over 1,000, heading up some ridiculous price, 2,000, and it split, right? Perhaps the share was too expensive for the average person to buy one share. So Robinhood said, let them buy $50 worth of this particular share to give them access. People started doing what is called trading, which is what I do. Trading is primarily short-term holding. You enter the stock, hope it goes up, and you take the money out. Or I won't get into some of the other strategies. So what this phenomena did create is a new class of investors that took Wall Street off guard. Basically, it was all of this new money coming in. And a lot of the money came in from the stimulus checks, by the way, because people were at home and they needed something to do. They weren't as privy to DraftKings as they are now, because DraftKings is a betting application. Two things. Anytime you get money, whether it's $1 and I can't give specifics out for legal reasons, but there's only two ways you're really making money. You're making money based on appreciation, or you're making money based upon interest coming in. If you're looking for income streams, you have to find money that is paying interest. If you're looking to hold long term, you want to look at more equity long positions with the hopes of the market going up, which is why people buy real estate. Robinhood is but one application that is able to do that. Underlining issues are Wall Street sort of dismissed the Robinhood culture when it started. They're uneducated investors. They don't know what they're doing. They're just following the trend or whoever. And what happened is Robinhood investors ended up creating this scenario where the market started going up because there's so much buying going on and so much activity going in.
No amount of pussy keep me from the money. Took them L's before.
Yo, we are back on the soil with the bigs. I'm Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest sports media outlet in the whole entire land. And, man, we had the HBCU conversation we were going to queue up for our last segment, but we decided me being a SWAC alumni, T being a MEAC alumni, Southern University, Morgan State University representative.
sir.
We felt like, man, the conversation needed more legs, more than 5 or 6 minutes. So we feel like we're going to reserve that conversation for Wednesday's edition of On the Soil, but we felt like we wanted to come back and just talk a little NBA to close out the day. I had a chance to talk to John Wall and Paul Silas, or Steven Silas, sorry.
Sir.
Houston Rockets first-year head coach over there. If anybody that's familiar knows his dad, Paul Silas, was one of the great coaches in NBA history. And, they played the Bulls twice this weekend, gearing up for a season with a bunch of new players. John Wall, back after 2 years.
Been a minute since we seen John Wall, man.
Happy to see John back and healthy. Looked good last night against the Bulls.
Being on the East Coast, like you just said, from me going to Morgan State, I've seen so much of John Wall. I got just this ultimate respect,
no doubt,
for the athlete that he is. It was definitely great to see him back on the court over the weekend.
Yeah, it was, man. It was good to see him up and down, getting up and down like we used to seeing. Saw him playing over the summer for the last few months, looking good. So I'm sure he's happy to get back on the NBA court and show that he still got it. Being able to take over, I know Russell Westbrook was the guy last year, but being able to come in and, being able to play with DeMarcus Cousins, another guy who's looking to kind of recreate himself.
I would love to see Boogie bounce back. You know what I mean? I was looking forward to seeing him be active in Los Angeles, but, the basketball guys had something different in mind from him. But he's one of those players that as long as he's on the court, the skill level is going to be at a different level than most players, no matter what.
All right, we're going to see if we can cue this video up. Like I said, I talked to John Wall yesterday after the game and just wanted to get a glimpse of what Steven Silas said, about his game and giving him the keys to the system and really how he thought he could make James Harden's game better. We know Harden is on his way back.
Whew, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, man, so let's run this video real quick.
Gino, is it on the switcher?
Oh, it's on the switcher. It's in there. I don't know what the issue is. That's all right.
Yeah, break it down to us while we fix that real quick.
I felt like we said, he said he was just happy to be back on the floor and being able to show a guy who's a 20-point, 10 assists per game career average, 5-time All-Star, spent all of his life in Washington. Now he gets a chance to try to recreate himself, come out here with a guy with like James Harden. And I really wanted to ask him about being ball dominant. Let's see. I don't hear nothing.
When you say that he spent all his time in Washington, first of all, I think you can't talk about John Wall without, talking about what he did in Washington. If it wasn't for the injuries, the man was just
he was
master.
On one, wasn't he?
You know what I mean? He can get to his spot. He turned himself into a respectable shooter.
Yeah.
And I've only ever heard good things about him as a leader. You know what I mean? He brought the best out of guys like Otto.
I forgot about Otto playing in Washington.
They had a decent squad over there at Washington, man. Yeah. And when you look at him over and with the Rockets, I want to know from you real quick, how different are those 2 point guards, Russell Westbrook versus John Wall?
I feel like even though Russell Westbrook is a guy who's averaged a triple-double in a couple seasons, I feel like John Wall is a more pass first, even though he can get his shot off.
Is it
anytime.
more of a point guard?
He's more of this era of a point guard. He's going to get 17, 18, 19 shots a game, but I feel like his first thing is looking to make the rest of the guys around him better.
See, and that's more what I was thinking, bro. Like, I know Russell Westbrook is the triple-double god, but John Wall is going to get you a good look. You know what I mean?
John Wall is definitely going to get you a good look. And like he was saying in the piece, it was like when he's coming downhill, being able to have guys like Eric Gordon, DeMarcus Cousins, Daniel House Jr., James, when he's not on the ball.
Flamethrowers,
Come on,
okay?
you got, like you said, a guy who's pass first and always, I don't know if you saw him run that break yesterday where he faked the pass.
Oh, yeah.
And then dropped that bounce pass
Classic
down.
John Wall.
That's classic John Wall. So I feel like people have forgotten about him the last couple years as the point guard has surged. Steph, Dame, Kyrie, Russ, all these guys. I feel like John Wall feels like he's been left out, and he's eager to come back and show the guy that he is. So, again, man, I was happy to see John looking good last night. Interested to see what he can do out in Houston. If James Harden wants to play, we know James Harden has been saying he don't want to play with Houston this year.
What's going on with that man, Joe?
He pulling a host stud move, man. These are straight host stud activities. But when, like I said, when you're making $40 million a year and you've been given everything as a Houston Rocket,
ain't been told no.
You know, now you can pull this type of thing. And that's the only thing that I don't really like about this new NBA. I'm all about guys being able to lead their own destiny and call their own shots. But when it's stuff like this, you sign with Houston, bro.
Exactly. You know what? I really call it the Jay Cutler move. Remember when Jay Cutler left Denver? He cried his way out of It's like, hold on, you had the red carpet rolled out for you here, fam.
Man.
What's the issue?
Yeah, man. These guys, they get full of themselves. And it's all good, man. I love the NBA. I just want to see the best basketball. It's been lopsided, man. I'd hate to see him wanting to team up with Kyrie. Now he wants to team up with Giannis. Then he want to team up.
Well, see, now, I do feel like it's interesting because the James Harden that I liked initially, you know what I mean, was the one with KD and Westbrook. I thought he was the perfect complement for those guys as the third piece of the puzzle. I never really liked James Harden as the main piece to the puzzle. We saw him fizzle out in the playoffs last couple of years, and it wasn't just your regular fizzle out. Like, the wheels popped completely off, and it looked like he had nothing in the tank. So,
hey, man.
On that note,
do what you got to do, James. It ain't going to be sweet with KD and Kyrie and them over there. LeBron and AD coming back. Shout out to Taylor, man. We got to give a shout out to Taylor Horton Tucker, who came up big last night with a 30 ball against the Clippers. I feel like Taylor should be a part of that second unit in LA this year. And
let me tell you, bro, you know how I get when I see that step back. You know, like that classic, what's becoming classic Taylor step back is about to drive the league crazy, y'all. So.
And we're going to have Taylor Horton Tucker on the soil with us soon, man. Y'all stay tuned with us. But up next, man, we got our brothers. The family members. I said what I said. Cousin 2, Herb Howard. I said what I said each and every day, Monday through Friday. What's in it for the Black People Media, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure y'all stay tuned on the network and rock with the brothers, man.
Absolutely, man. Catch us on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We'll be doing our thing, man. You just got down on the soil for my player partner, man, and my partner in crime, Eugene McIntosh.
What the now?
I'm your man, T. Tomlin, man. We shall be back.
Shout out to DJ and our boy back there holding it. Mike.
Yes, sir, Mike.
DJ and Mike doing the hard work behind the boards, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.